Yo, what's up?
Hello,
And we're live,
everybody.
mother truckers.
Woo!
What's up? And I'm back.
Welcome.
Took a quick
Stephanie,
hiatus last week.
yes. Stephanie is back. Welcome, everybody, to Know Your Role, the SmackDown show, your new favorite SmackDown show. We've got a
Period.
lot to talk about. But Stephanie is back officially
I am.
this week.
I'm back.
And
And what a fucking week to come back.
you came back and someone else came back.
Not someone else. Someone's else came back as
Someone's.
ex-friends. Like if you've followed me for any number of time. Well, actually, no. If you've followed me for a while, you know I'm a Charlotte Lynch fan. Am I a Charlotte Flair fan? Not the biggest. I think people know that. I've always been
Mhm.
a fan of Charlotte Lynch for years, right? So obviously, when that all broke down, I was like, well, it is what it is. Sometimes you outgrow people, and then sometimes you bring them back for war games.
That is right. They've already set up war games, especially in the opening of the show. Let's talk about the opening of the show. Let's talk
Yes.
about damage control and them hinting Bailey getting kicked out, possibly getting pushed out. Because I really like the way that they're setting this up. Like, first of
Is it
all,
coming? Are they going to pull okey doke on us, Alex? Because first of all, hi to everybody. We just kind of jumped in and just started
we
going.
we totally
Hi.
jumped in. Hi, hello.
Thank you for joining Know Your Role, the
'Cause we've got
SmackDown
so
post show
much,
on BodySlamNet. I am
so
Stephanie
much.
Hypes. This is the badass queen of the ring,
I
Alex.
am. I
She is
am
in a remote location this week. She was waiting
undisclosed.
for the call from Charlotte, but never came. But
Yeah.
it's
I
okay.
am currently in Nick Aldis's office. I was
Office. You're
waiting for the call,
waiting for the call.
hanging out in the back, lingering in the shadows with Cody Rhodes.
MDB
And
said you look comfy and cozy on that couch.
I
Doesn't she
am.
though? Like it looks
I
nice and
am.
plushy.
I am. It's
I'm kind of
very, very
gel.
comfortable. I got a little blankie right here. I
Right?
see I'm
Sorry,
holding
sorry,
my
y'all.
mic.
We just jumped in because I am so goddamn excited. However, just
Listen,
wanted to say at least welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. We do pick a champion, a chat champion of the week. And that's just whoever has the best comment, maybe the most comments. Maybe it's something, controversial. Maybe it's someone who makes a wonderful donation to Alex and I on slamchats.com. We always appreciate your support. Slamchats.com if you want to support us. And of course, we will always call out those chats as well. But jumping back into it, Alex was going over kind of what happened in the opening of the show, setting up for damage control and the challenge that we just saw the ending to. So go ahead. My
so yeah, I like the way that they set up this damage control with Io and Asuka and Kyrie just kind of like laughing to themselves in the corner. I love that Dakota is like the mediator between everybody, between like
Is she though?
uh sort of, I guess,
Or
like
is
a
she the
little
brains
bit, but
behind
I
this
think she might
backstabbing?
be the brains behind it. I would love to see her be the brains behind it. I mean, listen, whatever happens next weekend, next Saturday, this wouldn't be the first time that Dakota Kai turned on her own teammate
At
during a
War
War Games
Games.
match. This wouldn't
This
be
is
the first time.
true. It's kind of
Uh,
her MO
yeah,
at the War
she's got
Games match.
plenty of experience on this. But
Mhm.
I just I love it. I just think that they look so powerful. I don't
I
want this
know.
lingering tease of them breaking up. I just don't want it. But listen, it's a
It's
lot of
just
fun to
Bailey
play
they're
around
breaking up
with.
with.
I know, but Bailey's doing such a good job. Like even like
I know. I
when
don't
she's
want her to
telling
be
the
face.
kid, I know,
I
but when
don't.
she's
She's such a
telling
good heel.
and that's the thing is that it's a great example tonight when she tells the kid to shut up because this is important. Like it's
I
so
know.
good the way that she plays that up. Dakota Kai says that, oh, actually, Io said that there's one person in the ring that isn't a part of damage control. Bailey looks a little worried. And then Dakota's like, no, 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 Bailey, you have to initiate Asuka into damage control. And even like the little details of Bailey
Yeah.
getting down on one knee and pretty much proposing
Proposing to
to
Asuka.
Asuka with the
I
shirt.
know.
Love that. Love that so much.
I love all of this as well. Like so last week I wasn't on the show last week, so you probably touched on it. But so there were a couple things that happened. Bailey referred to the hugging. I don't do that anymore, right? It's kind of a tease of this, like maybe she's going back face. We don't know, but I don't do that anymore, right? But she also said, literally, I've been around long enough. I know how these things go. You know what I mean? Like when she called out Io, she's like, I know how these things go. I've been around long enough. So, and then they, kind of touched on it today as well, tonight on SmackDown, when Io said that someone in the ring is part of the new improved damage control, and you see her face just change. So Bailey's waiting for it. Like she can feel it coming. Like she kind of is in disbelief. She doesn't really want to believe that they're going to turn on her, but we can all kind of see maybe that's where it's going. Or is it? Are they throwing us off? I don't know.
You know what? They got to throw us off. Listen, going into a match like War Games with this much tension in the air, like, do you want to win the match? Or do you want to pull some savage moves at War Games? It's going to be fun to see. Like, it's going to be fun to see how so far the buildup has been really fun. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of deep history between all of these women. And so I can't wait to see how everything goes.
And they've done a great job on touching on that history. They've done a great job mentioning that, Io and Asuka and Kairi are all very familiar with each other from before WWE. I think they're doing a great job with this. And you and I, as big women's wrestling supporters, it's all we've ever wanted to see for women's wrestlers is a story and meaning behind it and continuity and consistency and little, trails to kind of follow and clues to kind of follow. Like it's fun for me as a viewer just to see this. To answer your question, Eugene, am I hyped for War Games? Do you see my name? I'm Stephanie Hypes. Yes, I'm hyped I was hyped for War Games before tonight. You best believe I'm more hyped right now because my girl's in it and Charlotte called her. Charlotte made the call, guys.
She made the call. I'm surprised she even still had the number.
I thought for sure Rebecca had that shit blocked. So look.
I did too.
We are happy she unblocked her. We're good to go, guys. We're back in the game.
We're back. We're so back. We're so back.
This is a good point from George. George says Io and Asuka and Kairi Sane as a faction. Is it possible? Io did say that. Is it possible they kick both Dakota and Bailey out of damage control?
I think it might just be Bailey. It seems like Dakota might be safe. I think it just might be Bailey. But there's so much to discuss. There's so much. There's so much. And even in the main event, like throughout the show, it was all playing out. Let's keep going because we got a lot to talk about when it comes to the main event. We got a lot to talk about with Bianca getting and Bianca getting everybody jumped. We'll get into it.
Stay away from Bianca Belair. Or you get your ass beat.
For real.
So consoling Zelina. Next thing you know, Zelina's elbow's broken.
For real. Like Zelina Vega just broke up with her entire pretty much family. All right. Just put on like the showcase of the year when it came to her crying. And like
and
Bianca,
like, are you okay? And the next thing you know, she's all
girl, read the room.
And actress, okay? A thespian right there. That's my girl.
Shout out
A
to
thespian.
telenovelas. Shout out to Univision, Telemundo. That's where she learned
You
it.
know what would have made it? Okay, we'll get there. Okay, let's keep
We'll
going because
we'll
we're
get there.
like,
We'll get there.
we'll get there.
We're
Go on.
full of excitement. We're
Okay,
just everywhere. But let's stick to it, okay? Let's stick to it.
let's
So
focus.
next part of SmackDown was the tag match between the Brawling Brutes, Pretty Deadly, and the Street Profits, which was a number one contender match. The winner
Mhm.
will go on next week during SmackDown to face the tag champions, Judgment Day, which is Damian Priest and Finn Balor. I am once again on team Pretty Deadly. Please give them the world.
The Street
Absolutely.
Profits.
I
I want
know.
I want the Street Profits heel run to go well so bad. And at
Me
least they're
too.
picking up W's.
They are, which is good,
Look at W's.
which is really great. I really do like heel Street Profits. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm, mhm,
I
mhm.
thought that this was a fun match. There was a lot of good. There were there were a lot of good moments
Yes.
during this match. The one
Yes.
that stuck out to me, like the move that stuck out to me was the oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. I don't have my notes in front of me.
Montez?
No. It was the blonde one from Pretty Deadly. Oh my
Oh,
God.
um,
Name is slipping
what
slipping my mind. But he
what
did
is the
this.
blonde's name from Pretty Deadly, guys? I'm
I
like way
totally
too hype right now to even think. So,
listen, I'm drinking sugar-free Red Bull right now. I don't I'm like off my game. I don't have my usual setup or anything.
guys, Pretty
And
Deadly.
I'm
This is the blonde from Pretty Deadly.
but the
Help us
blonde
in
from
the
Pretty
chat.
Dead, Jesus, like the name is slipping my mind.
But yes,
But
I know who you're talking about.
he did like a big leg drop from the top row. Elton Prince, thank you so much. He
Thank
did
you.
a big leg drop from the top rope, and the way
Yes.
that he did it, like it almost looked like he was about to do a frog splash, and then he jumped right. That was such a wild move. And they just continue to impress me every single week.
No, they're really
Um,
good.
they're so good. They're so freaking good. I can't wait to see the future for Pretty Deadly. But the Street Profits get the win. Once again, during
Mhm.
the match, we get a backstage little tiny segment with B-Fab watching over, and now Bobby
Talking about
Lashley
Lashley.
is
Yep.
with her. Yeah, talks about like what she would do and everything. Once again, put B-Fab ringside. That would be so much fun to see. Hopefully, we get to see that next Friday.
Yep.
And
Baby steps. Baby steps. We
baby
gotta get
steps.
there. We gotta get
Of course, baby steps.
She said, "Hear
But
me out," and then they cut her off.
yeah, hear me out. Looking good as ever. But the Street
Always.
Profits, I am happy that they won. You know, I did.
Mm.
Of course, I want Pretty Deadly to win. I just
Are they
want them
breaking up
more on my
Brawling
TV.
Brutes?
But I
Did
think
you
they
see
are
that?
breaking up Brawling Brutes. It seems like
Are
they are.
we
It's
getting Pete
the
Dunne
act
back?
is just getting getting a little stale. I think that we should be
It's
getting
weird
Pete
without
Dunne.
Sheamus, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
Like
it
Sheamus
is.
makes that group. Because the whole theme is kind of around Sheamus's gimmick. And so when he's not there, it's kind of like just give us Pete Dunne back at this point.
Yeah.
Like, and so I'm kind of hoping if they do break them up, I'm hoping that's where they're going, is that we're gonna get Pete Dunne back.
Yeah, I miss the bruiserweight. I miss
Yeah.
bruiserweight Pete Dunne so much. So if they are breaking the Brawling Brutes, give me that. I want to see that.
Yes.
Um but I do want to see the Street Profits take those belts from Judgment Day, especially before war games. It's a good story to tell. Maybe Judgment Day is a little worried about being off their game going into war games.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
I do want to see the Street Profits get the win next week. So
I just want them to split the
we're just
belts
gonna have
up.
to see.
Does anyone else sick of the undisputed belt thing? Like, just they have enough tag teams. It's fine. Split them up. Raw have one, SmackDown have one, replace them because they're ugly as shit, and
Mhm.
just call it a day and move on. It's the ugliest belt in the company and has been for quite some time.
It kind of really has, to be honest, because all they did was take those penny belts and just spray paint them. Like that's all that
Correct.
they did. That's all that they did. But I do think
Don't do it.
that they need to split those titles. It's bound
It's
time.
time.
They've already done it with, I know that they don't want to establish a brand split anymore. They've already done it with the SmackDown and the Women's Championships, like
Right.
making a secondary championship for Seth Rollins with the World Heavyweight Championship. So I do think that they need to finally like split these tag titles, and I think it would give the tag divisions both on Raw and SmackDown something to do. Like it's time to just split those up. Like you said, give it a new design, give it a little pizzazz. Um
Yes.
because
They've
I think
redone
that
all the other ones, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they have. So I
Well,
think
I guess not the US and IC, but still, like
yeah,
they
I
look
mean
better than
the IC has changed, but I do miss that
the
white
IC strap.
strap
I know,
IC
I miss the
title.
white strap. But I
Oh,
do like that they are keeping the straps consistent with the women. So all the women titles
mhm.
have the white strap, and the guys with the black. But to your point, I do miss the IC white strap as well.
Yeah, I do miss it too. So I
But
think that's what
the Street
that's
Profits
what
won. They will be
mhm.
going against Judgment Day. I think Alex and I are on the same page. We kind of hope they win. But I know they're also trying to make Judgment Day look super strong going into War Games. So I feel like it might not happen until after War Games, which is fine, I
Yeah.
guess. Are there any
We'll
pay-per-views after
see.
War Games, or is that it till Rumble?
Unless they have like day one again or something.
But they would have announced it already now, right?
I guess so.
They've announced it. I think we don't have anything till Rumble, which is a long build season to
Mm.
Rumble. But
They need to
um,
bring back New Year's Revolution, man. That was such a good
right?
pay-per-view.
They do.
It
I
was
really, they
such a
really
good
should have something
pay-per-view.
around New Year's, which is why I appreciate it. Why they brought in day one, because I was like, oh, okay, like
Mhm.
cool. But then they did it 1 year, and they were like, all right, well, that was cool.
Yeah,
Bye.
they need to bring that back. It was such
It's
a good
okay.
pay-per-view. Um,
Anyways, next on SmackDown.
Next on SmackDown. I believe before commercial break, we got Bianca talking to Mia Yim. And then
Mm,
we come back and Mia Yim gets her ass kicked.
MBAM's ass is kicked.
She got her ass beat, and I feel so
Mia, get your lick back. I'm Bianca too, because technically it was her fault.
Listen, Mia Yim was in the War Games match last year, but like this just
Mhm.
continues a tradition of Mia Yim kind of getting fucked over in War Games a little bit. I don't want to
Correct.
say fucked over, that's a little harsh, but like the
I know what you
first
mean.
War Games, the first women's War Games at NXT, she got injured.
Correct.
And then this
Poor
War
Mia.
Game, she gets her ass beat. Like it's like,
Poor Mia.
damn, leave her alone, give her a chance.
Poor Mia. I'm just trying to get
Poor,
to the
poor Mia.
end to the main event part, guys.
Well, what was next? What was
I'm
next,
just kidding.
Stephanie?
I'm joking. I'm just joking. Yeah, so Mia's ass got beat. And then is that when was that Axiom and Dragon Lee?
Dragon Lee. Yeah. So we got Dragon Lee
And
versus
that shit
Axiom.
was fire.
You want to talk about a banger match? That was like match of the
Correct.
night on SmackDown.
Correct. Absolutely.
Like such a
100.
good match. Great debut from Axiom. I will say like Axiom sold me last year doing Deadline with the Iron Survivor match.
Mm-hmm.
I like absolutely fell in love with him. I love that he got this debut on SmackDown. And then Dragon Lee just like continues to have banger after banger match and just
I think they've done a great
really,
job with his debut.
yeah, and really like solidifying his spot on SmackDown Live. It was such fantastic match. The one thing, it's a little tiny bit of a pet peeve, and I was thinking about it before the Santos Escobar segment,
Uh-huh.
but before the match, earlier that night, um, Dragon Lee was talking to Nick Aldis and said that he
Yep.
wants a match with Santos Escobar because he wants to avenge Rey Mysterio. And Nick
Yep.
Aldis is like, no, actually, you're gonna have a match with Axiom. You can still avenge Rey Mysterio. And for me, it was just like, why don't they have like give Dragon Lee Santos Escobar like if he loses, sure, why not? But at least you kind of like build up Santos
Yeah.
Escobar's like character a little bit. That's before we
They
got
want to
to
save it. That's why. Because think
yeah,
about how much of a banger that match is going to be. Like,
exactly.
I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
why
yeah,
they
yeah.
want to save it. To your point, I absolutely, Michael Cole was so fucking good at this, but I absolutely loved when they were entering and he's speaking about kind of the trail that Rey Mysterio has blazed and how these two have basically come up behind him and through him and because of him, and just saying like, look what Rey Mysterio has done, you know, for Lucha. And it's just one of those things where I can't even say it the way he said it because he's so good at it, but like if you watch that part again and he's explaining like what Rey means to the culture, I just thought that was so cool. And so special. And he's right. Like, if there was no Rey Mysterio, I don't know if we would have seen this. And not just these two, obviously, but just around American wrestling in general. There's so many great Hispanic wrestlers. And I just feel that Rey is such a huge trailblazer in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I did like eat my own words because then Santos Escobar had his segment. And I was like, I'm going to let you cook. Never mind. I'm gonna let you cook.
He went,
you know,
off.
Everybody cooked. Like Dragon Lee and eczema.
Eczema. I got some lotion. Hold on.
Jesus.
I got some lotion.
Axiom.
Eczema. Did it great.
Listen, Red Bull's kicking right now. I'm drinking Red Bull for this show, by the way. Maybe I shouldn't have. But Axiom and Dragon Lee absolutely destroyed it tonight. Like, so freaking good. I want to see them wrestle again down the line. I can't wait. I want to see Axiom on SmackDown again.
Did y'all see how Women's Advantage is being decided? Oh God, how? I did not see that. How's it being decided?
How's it being decided? Was it just announced?
It must have just been announced, or he must have one of those backstage things or something afterwards.
Maybe.
All right.
If that was
Eugene, tell us. You can't just ask the questions, leave us hanging, man.
Unless really they announced it in the show and we missed it during the main event. I'm not sure, but
possibly because I was too busy screaming.
Screaming. But we'll Santos Escobar coming in.
Santos Escobar. First of all, came out to Legado Fantasma. I'm gonna say this wrong. Legado Fantasma, right? Came out to their old theme from NXT. So I was like, oh shit. Then he had the suit on, and I was like, oh shit. So I was like waiting for his little homies to come out with him. They weren't there. I'm like, oh my gosh, is he gonna have them? Is he not? Looks good, like he always does. Hello. And then he enters the ring and he just goes fuck off.
Wait. Let's not brush over how he looked. He looked incredible. Are you kidding
my husband
me?
Is right out here. I can't thirst like that, but
I'll do it for you. So Santos Escobar, listen, he looked fine as hell.
Okay.
He looked so good. Like, he had the look. Like, when he came out tonight with the theme, like the whole suit, like the sauce that he came out with, it was like, oh yeah, no, I'm on board for this. Be the most heelish heel ever.
If y'all watch NXT, which I think most people here did, Hill Santos is like just a whole nother fucking level of swag. Like, he's just that man is fine. Anyway,
so fine. So
yeah, so he came out
in tonight
in his suit, Legado theme, gets in the ring, and then he starts going the fuck off on Rey. Like, and then he had the audacity. I hope your surgery went horrible. I hope you get an infection and your leg is amputated. God dang. You must hate a mofo to be wishing an infection on their ass, okay? Like, he's like, I hope you need antibiotics. I hope you're laid up in bed. I hope everything turns green. Fuck you. Carlito's Apple.
I need Dominic Mysterio's thoughts on what Santos said.
And then he said Dominic was right. Things no one ever says. Things rarely said ever. Dominic was right. And did you hear the heat? Okay, so I'm starting to get the key. Fuck with Rey Mysterio, you get mad heat. Because when
Yeah.
Santos first started talking, it was just straight up booze. And obviously we hear that with Dominic. Dominic can't even get a breath in. Just booing his ass out the arena. And Santos didn't have that level of heat yet, but he had some heat. And that's just because he messed with Mysterio. And I'm like, that's the key. If you want to get over as a heel, fuck with Rey Mysterio.
Honestly, yeah. He's the path
Done.
of just becoming like the ultimate heat magnet. You don't fuck with Rey Mysterio.
Don't fuck with Rey Mysterio. Everyone loves
That's
Rey
everybody's
Mysterio.
son. Rey Mysterio is everybody's son. You don't fuck with it.
Dom Mysterio was clapping like Shia LaBeouf in that gif.
Oh my god, for real, for real. But can we talk about Zelina Vega
My thespian
coming
sister.
out like homegirl,
Right.
like I said at the beginning of the show, homegirl's acting training was from Telemundo, Univision, like all
Right. She had actual fucking
like
tears coming out of her face, y'all.
everything.
Like she was in the back making herself cry, came out with the tears and either that or she dashed water in her face real quick. I don't know.
No,
But I was like, oh my
was
god,
real
she's hurt
tears.
for real. Like that
homegirl
she was crying.
Went method with that. Like she really did. And I know that last week, the backstage, the like thoughts about her segment back like last week, just like delivering the turn was like so over like backstage, like everyone absolutely loved it and adored it. And I think that she's just now working on her acting reel.
Like she's so good.
SmackDown.
I need Marvel at MGM Studios at
I need
else.
A24
Universal.
to hit up her line and be like, listen, we're done with Iron Claw. You want a Zelina Vega biopic?
Actress, okay?
Oh my god.
She ate that shit up. And
She
then
really
the
did.
slap. That was Stephanie McMahon level of slapdom. She graduated from the Stephanie McMahon College of Slapdom. Did you hear that shit? And she put like some. The only thing that could have made that better is if she had slapped him with the chancla. If she had slapped him with the chancla, I probably would have popped out of my seat. However,
that's like, listen, hitting someone with the chancla is like hitting someone with a baseball bat. Like that will knock you out. All right, that's how powerful the chancleta is.
He's wishing
in
this
our
man
culture.
His leg amputated. He doesn't deserve to be slapped with the chancla.
I think so. Maybe he does. Maybe he does.
It was so loud. I was like, "Is he okay? Is he okay?"
Oh my god!
Like I think she told him like before the show, like I'm gonna slap you hard as shit, and you're gonna take it. And he's like, "All right,
it was
cool.
Let's
make it look real." Her handprint was embedded.
Yeah.
In his cheek.
Santos Escobar, Zelina Vega played a fantastic role in that segment tonight. And then Carlito comes out to confront Santos Escobar. And now we have the setup for next week at Survivor Series is going to be Carlito versus Santos Escobar. We're finally getting
your
it.
apples, fool.
Santos is going to come out with a pear next week instead of an apple.
He's like, fuck your apples. Here's an orange, bitch.
Oh
like,
my
I'm gonna be
God.
like, you know what? I love this man even more. Oranges have vitamin C.
We love him
Anyway.
And then we see Bianca Belair talking to a
consoling
Zelina Vega. Like
she's like, look, I know you're sad, but we need a fourth member. Can that be you? And Zelina's like, I don't know. Maybe she's like, do it.
I don't really know. My family broke up.
What's happening to my life right now? And Bianca's like, look, it can't get any worse. Fast forward that shit to 2 seconds later, past the commercial. Zelina's ass has been beat.
I love Bianca, but she couldn't have read the room just a little bit. Just a little bit. She's like, listen, I'm gonna let you. She said, listen, I'm gonna let you cry for a second, but we need you at War Games. All right. If you just take a minute, breathe for a second, gather yourself, come through, like we're over here backstage, just like hear us out. No big deal. We need you, girl. We need you. And then next thing you know,
right? You're already down bad.
She gets jumped.
Join our team. Next thing you know,
She
Zelina's
gets
fucked up.
jumped. Oh
She's gonna
my
hold her elbow
god,
like
dude.
this. I'm like, wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mia Yim and Zelina Vega have a bone to pick with Bianca Belair after she's
I
done at War
would.
Games.
And be like, oh, so you didn't know they were attacking people back there? Oh, you did? And you
She's
still
like,
talked my ass?
damn.
You know what?
I mean, I
Keep it
didn't know they were
moving.
gonna do all that.
You
Damn.
and
That's
your
what
braid
Bianca
can
said.
go. You and your braid can go.
Oh my god. Zelina had a rough
Y'all be
night
getting everybody's
tonight.
ass kicked. You know what, girl?
She had a
If she,
rough
you know,
night.
what would have been funny if she had approached somebody and they just like walked away, like really quick, like you know what, I'm good. I would have loved to see that for my own comedic timing.
That would have
To
been
be like,
great.
no, I'm good. Thanks though. Like if she approached, I would. Oh, she could have approached like BFAB, and she would have just been like, nope, I'm out, and then just like
She's
left,
nah,
and I
I'm
would have
not. I'm
left
not. Yeah, she's like, I'm not messing
so
with
hard.
this. No way.
Anyway, all right. Santos got slapped. Zelina's upset. Bianca's consoling her, saying, "Get over it. You're great. Join our team." She gets her ass beat. And then what?
Oh my goodness. My goodness. And then we got the next segment was Grayson Waller, I believe.
Grayson Waller.
Grayson
My
Waller
twerk
versus
song.
Cameron. Your twerk song. Well,
It's
first
my
of
twerk
all,
song.
we didn't really touch about this, but like throughout the whole show on commentary, was Road Dogg. I'm gonna let you have it this week, but bring back my boy Kevin Owens on commentary.
Anybody
And
else?
and then you add in Austin Theory during that match, and it's like for me, my biggest pet peeve, honestly, like I'm not a fan of like a three people commentary table. I'm just
Yeah.
like not really a fan of it.
Yeah.
And then it's just all clustered during this match, which was, whatever. But shout out to Cameron Grimes coming back, having a match at SmackDown. Love to see it. Grayson Waller wins, but this is also the first win for Grayson Waller in a year, which is wild.
No, they won
Um,
as a tag team. You mean as a single person?
as a singles, yeah, yeah,
Single.
yeah, as a
Yeah.
singles. My bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
As a singles, which is like okay,
But
cool.
they've still, to me, they've booked him so strongly in other ways
Mm-hmm,
by just
mm-hmm,
the people he's been standing across from. Like he's been standing across from legends doing his thing. I think they've done a great job with his debut on main roster.
mm-hmm.
To me, like I find myself just watching him. Like he's just not, that sounds weird. Like not like watching him. Just
Yeah.
watching him. Like I just like he's appealing to me. Like I think he's a great heel. I think he has
Mm-hmm.
the it factor. I think he gets this business very well.
Yeah.
I mean, he posted a video like talking shit about Swifties, and they all came after his ass, and he's like, "Damn, I'm sorry, fuck y'all." And I'm like, "Wow, like this guy is amazing. Like you just went
That's
after
too much.
Swifties and
Too
didn't
much.
care." No, but I think he's amazing. I think I've said this. I think I said this on our first show. I'm not an Austin Theory fan. I think Austin Theory has great potential. I think he's a good wrestler. He just doesn't appeal to me. Like his whole look doesn't appeal to me. His whole whatever. Putting him with Grayson Waller, the charisma Grayson Waller has for the first time had me interested in what Austin Theory is even doing. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like
Yeah.
I think they make a great tag team. I like them as friends or whatever you want to call it. And
Mm-hmm.
let's keep that going. Grayson Waller picked up the W here against Cameron Grimes. I don't know what they're really doing with Cameron Grimes, but not everyone can get a W. So it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get to see more of Cameron Grimes, but next week
And hopefully
we will
Road Dogg's no
have
longer on commentary.
but next week, well, Corey Graves is out. He just had a baby,
I'm
so
fine with him
congrats to
being out.
him and
But
Carmella.
congratulations to Carmella and Corey.
Congrats. Love
And the
to see
baby's
it.
so cute.
It's so cute. So cute.
Yeah, no,
But
Corey needs to take his time. Don't get me wrong, but I also think they could do just fine with just Cole and Patrick for now. Like Kevin,
I think so
think they
too.
could make it work. I
Yeah.
don't think we need three people. And
Mhm.
if we do, let's call my man Titus. Titus is amazing on commentary, and I would love to see him out there.
Yes.
Road Dogg
Titus
tried. It's
worldwide,
not.
baby.
Someone at him at Titus. Tell him to watch.
But next week we're gonna get the Grayson Waller effect is coming back, and the special guest is gonna be Kevin Owens. We'll see where that goes.
See where it's got. And that's the go home show for Survivor Series. So hopefully next week is lit. It's in Chicago. As we know, there's been plenty of rumors going around about a certain person that I'm not going to mention because he's not showing up. And everyone needs to get over it. Anyway.
Yes. Listen, everyone needs to get over Larry the dog coming through to WWE. WWE is not going to sign Larry the dog. Please let that go, guys. Like, Larry's got a lot of things to do, like sleep, eat, and go on long walks,
and
okay? And pee and poop. Like, that's literally all he has to do. He's very busy. He's booked up, okay? Larry the dog is not coming through.
Sorry.
Okay, guys? Sorry. But also, I will add, I will be at Survivor Series. I will be at SmackDown. I will be at Survivor Series. I'm going to roll up to Chicago. So, of course, if all of our wonderful Body Slam viewers would like to, you know, if you see me, if you're in Chicago, come say hi, of course. And of course,
go say hi.
Yes, please come say
Alex
hi.
will be
and
in Chi-Town, y'all.
I will be. I absolutely will be.
I'll be low. I'm so jealous.
It's okay. I'll text you all week. All weekend.
Well, that's good. But that doesn't put me in the stadium, in the arena, where my girl and the Charlotte Lynch team has gotten back together. Oh, wait, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. You can take over that whole segment.
So you can have the whole part.
We're not there yet.
So after Grayson Waller and what's his face? Austin Theory. What's his face? Sorry. you knew who I meant, y'all.
Yeah, no. I totally know who you meant.
Thanks, Cub fan. I do wish Steph was joining us here and when you see next weekend. Here's the problem.
Me too.
Here's why I'm not going to Chi-Town. It's fucking Thanksgiving weekend. And my family has Thanksgiving plans. And so I will not be in Chi-Town. Low-key just want to leave their asses and go. I mean, family first.
I will be touching down to Chicago Friday morning. I will be missing all of the Black Friday sales.
God damn it.
I will be stuffing my face with deep dish pizza.
You're going to have to do Cyber Monday or something.
Cyber Monday. In this economy, I don't think I'm going to be participating in anything.
No.
Except for my rent.
Speaking of economy, you can support me and Alex at slamchats.com if you want to help fund our Black Friday and Cyber Monday purchases.
Yes, of course. And if you're viewing this, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps us get into the algorithm of the YouTubes, and subscribe, of course, for many, many fantastic shows, after shows that are happening on bodyslam.net, from NXT to Dynamite and to SmackDown. We're doing it all, folks. So definitely subscribe if you haven't already.
Absolutely. I'm waiting for Becky to text back, by the way. So just a quick inside note. Anytime something crazy happens on TV with her, we do this thing where I yell at her. I don't know if you can see this. See that? She says, and then right in the middle it says bad bitches, and then and then she fucking laughs at me and she's like surprised. And I'm like, I hate you. Anyway.
If you need the Becky Lynch scoop, go to Stephanie.
So I did my because she fucking appeared, and I'm like, she didn't tell me, and I'm like, whatever. And so I'm waiting for her to laugh at me and
we'll get to her. We'll get
fucking
to
surprised. Anyway, we're getting there. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
So next up, I believe, is the Paul Heyman in Solo Sikoa segment with Jimmy Uso before Jimmy Uso's match against LA Knight. Man, I love Paul Heyman. I
thought John Cena's ass was coming out. The way he set that up.
No,
then he was like, "This is the time he would normally come out," and I'm like,
"No way!"
Damn it. I'm like,
"No way!" John Cena is like, "Oh, strikes are done. See you."
He said, he put on the fucking on his Instagram. It said like, "That's all, folks," or whatever it said. I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah.
He dropped our asses. Like
they've already announced a John Cena show. John Cena already have a show, I believe, on Roku.
a talk show or something, right?
Yeah, like a talk show with his celebrity friends
Like he must have
driving
had
in their
that shit
cars or
already
something.
ready to go. Then they went on strike, and he was just waiting for the call.
Yeah. And he
And as
made
soon
the
as the
call to
strike ended, they're like,
WWE. He's
"And it's
like,
official. He has a talk show." I'm like,
yeah. And
that
John
took
Cena's
2
like,
seconds.
hey, I need some work, WWE, if you don't
We're
mind.
like, we're like the side piece that gets no attention until we're needed,
Oh
and
man.
then John Cena comes back and is like, "Oh, I love you guys. Oh my god, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Fuck y'all, bye." Like, and don't get me wrong, I love John Cena. I love him. I'm even in the crowd with my John Cena towel going, ah! But he dropped us like a fucking side piece. He was like, "All right, that was fun.
He's
Gonna go
done.
make big money now."
I mean, I think it's great,
I'm
you
sure
know,
WWE pays
because
him well. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean, I'm sure, but like,
he's
Solo
moved on.
Sikoa also like beat him so clean, so it does make sense for him to just go away
It
for a
totally
little
makes sense.
while.
It totally makes sense.
Solo's on top, uh, and
But
then
Paul Heyman is great. You were right. Like the way
Paul
he
Heyman is
set that whole
amazing,
thing up, the way he put over
fantastic.
Solo in that promo was just
Mm-hmm.
class.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute class.
Absolutely. And then LA Knight comes out. God damn, like his pop just gets louder and louder each week. Like,
It really
holy
does.
crap.
And everyone's like, "Oh, he's not winning. It's gonna die. People aren't gonna support him." Do you hear these people every week? It gets louder and louder,
It
and you
does.
don't think that they're not doing something right?
It does. And like LA Knight does say that he's not done with the bloodline. He has his match with Jimmy Uso. LA Knight does win, but then they're attacking LA Knight after the match. Solo comes out, gives LA Knight a spike. They're setting up the big old spot on the announce table, but who comes out from the shadow realm of Nick Aldis's office? It is Cody Rhodes. Big old pop for Cody Rhodes. So we got a
Yep.
big old pop for Cody Rhodes. We got a big old pop for LA Knight. Um, and is this possibly tying up the loose ends with Cody being further involved with the bloodline, coming back to Roman Reigns? Is this possibly an answer to LA Knight joining the War Games match? Adrenaline was definitely in his soul.
Journal was definitely in his soul. I'm sorry. I'm like stuck on what Cub fan just said. Where on TikTok? I'm sitting here searching. I'm sitting here searching. I don't see anything on Charlotte's TikTok.
Becky's TikTok,
Let me look at
maybe.
Becky's. Becky just post. Just kidding. Read much, Stephanie. Read much. I'm all
But
looking
like,
on Charlotte Flair's TikTok. I'm like, it's not on it. Oh
but
shit, she did. It says her phone says Charlotte. She put the phone back down. You guys have to
Ruh-roh.
watch it. It's ringing and it
Ruh-roh.
says Charlotte on her screen and she just puts it back down. I'm like, I'm not answering that.
um,
You guys have to watch this. This is great. She's like, what do you want?
I have to watch it after the show.
That's wonderful. All right. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Then there's a match with Jimmy Uso and LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. LA Knight gets the win. Solo comes out, spikes LA Knight. Cody Rhodes comes out. Do you think this is Cody Rhodes coming out is like tying up the loose ends with LA Knight? Do you think LA Knight is going to be the next member for War Games?
I think so. That's what I'm. Well, and I'm trying to figure out. He must be. Well, he might be because there was. I don't know if you saw, but there was a part where when Charlotte, Bianca, and Shotzi were standing there talking to Nick Aldis, and when Nick Aldis turned, he went into a room and Cody Rhodes was in there. So he was talking to Nick Aldis about something. So is it, hey, maybe it's like a trade, like, hey, Becky's on this team. Can we get someone from SmackDown over on our team? You know what I mean? Like maybe they're working on, because they have to make some kind of, I don't know if they have to make a reason. Like Charlotte legit called them and said, hey, we need your help. I know
Yeah.
people have said online that they would like a reason behind it, or like it needs to be addressed by Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, like why it's okay for these things to happen when they're on two completely different brands. But so then maybe they will, because again, Cody was in there talking about something, so maybe it is so they can get LA Knight on the team. I know a lot of people were hoping it was Randy Orton, but I guess we will see. LA Knight is so over. You kind of don't want to keep him off the pay-per-view.
You don't want to keep him off the pay-per-view, but you also don't want to give him some like a match that doesn't really make sense. A match with Solo or Jimmy, like he needs to, something needs to happen with LA Knight, but it's like he needs to move forward, because it's like Cody has a story to finish. Okay? Cody has a story to finish, and with LA Knight being involved with the bloodline, it's time to just again like tie up that end of like, hey, all right, congratulations. You're done with the bloodline. Correct. Pretty much. And Cody just needs to like get back. So
I agree.
Yeah, just needs to come back. But then we move on to the
Ruffles will be deciding the women's advantage. Like Ruffles, the potato chips.
We would love a link to this information, if this is true.
It's a fan vote, not a match. It's sponsored by Ruffles.
Again, we would love a link. We would love a link. But let's move on to the main event. Let's move on to the way that they set this up. So, this is finally Stephanie's time to just completely pop off. Completely pop off. So let's talk about the way that they set this up, because Charlotte obviously is the most veteran of everybody in this entire War Games, right?
Besides Bailey, maybe?
Besides Bailey, of course. But Bianca turns to Charlotte and says, you got to make the call. Like, you have to pick somebody. Who's it going to be? And Charlotte looks very...
somebody.
Yeah, Charlotte does not want to make the
somebody call. Or say, I think you know somebody and you should make the call.
Yeah, because Bianca could easily make the call herself, right? But it has to be Charlotte, because that's the, the little feud, a little, and it's not to say that anybody else isn't the veteran, but it's more so like, Charlotte is in a leadership role. She's not the leader of this team, but she's definitely someone to like look on to, of like, hey, you've been in this position before, you've been in some tough times, somebody, make the call, this is in your position. The ball's in your court pretty much. Bianca's walking around just getting everybody
talking to anybody and getting their ass beat.
Getting everybody jumped left and right. And before they go out for the main event segment, Charlotte does make the call, but the person does not pick up the phone. So they come out, and Charlotte starts out, and she's on the mic, and she says that, she knows a thing or two about turning on friends, but if this is a war, she knows the exact person.
There's a thin line between love and hate, is what she said.
Mm-hmm. And so Damage Control comes out, step into the ring. Becky Lynch shows up. I love the way that Becky Lynch showed up too. I love the way that she just like came from behind.
We were all waiting for the music to hit.
Music didn't even hit. We were all waiting through. Stephanie, the floor is yours. Go off. What do you think about this? How excited are you?
Oh my god. Like, okay. This was done so well to me, because Bianca could have made the call. In kayfabe, Bianca's only kind of real friend is Becky, that at least that she's admitted on camera. So we were all like, okay, if this is really happening, obviously Bianca is going to be the one to call her. Not only that, but last year at Survivor Series, in the press conference after Survivor Series, they said Bianca called, like she said, Bianca made the call. She called me and said, I need you. Are you ready to come back? Right? So I think a lot of people expected that. I love that they made Charlotte make this phone call, because there was such bad blood between them in real life. And this was what, 4 years ago now? 3 years ago? 21, whatever it was. And so it's been, obviously some time has gone by. They haven't been on the same show in years. And so, I think it was reported, I do know myself, but I think it's reported as well that they did talk. They did talk at one point. And not necessarily settle things, but just get into a better place. But it's just one of those things where it was important for Charlotte to make this phone call because there was such bad blood last time they were on screen together. They delivered one of the best matches at Survivor Series against each other. And there was so much emotion built up in that. So I just thought that was a really cool touch. And of course, like you said, Becky showing up through the crowd instead of hearing her music hit and her coming down. The faces on Damage Control, mostly Bayley's face when Becky showed up, was like priceless. They were just kind of like, what? Because I think, like most people, that would be the last person Charlotte would call. But if you really think about it, Charlotte knows Becky the most. She knows when something needs to be taken care of or get done. Becky will be there to help. She's the top star. Whether y'all want to argue that shit or not, it's up to you. She is the top star. I thought this was well done. I'm absolutely hype. More hype than I ever was. She just responded to me.
We've got the
laughing.
Inside scoop already.
So I mentioned earlier, I text her usually after they do these things, and I usually yell at her, like screaming, not yell at her like mad, like just look at you see the little laughy emoji.
Yeah.
She always responds laughing, and then she'll type some shit and be like, surprise. I'm like, whatever, bitch. I can't do it. But they did so well. I'm so excited for this. I just want to see her and Charlotte interact. I'm such a Charlotte fan. I was 4 years, and then obviously all that shit went downhill. And I'm not the kayfabe part, but I'm talking about in real life. And so it was just one of those things where it was like, all right, well, this shit is not going to be okay or happen ever again. I'm so excited for it. I'm excited for Survivor Series. Interested to see what happens next week. Does Damage Control show up on Raw on Monday and beat their ass? I don't know.
I think that will happen. I think maybe they will show up on Monday Night Raw. But like just like what you said, the last time we saw Becky and Charlotte together on screen was that awkward. It's not so much awkward, but it was just that very like sour, almost that sour segment where they had to change the belts.
The title exchange.
Yeah, the title exchange. Like that was a rough segment. There was obviously something happening behind the scenes with that. Good to know that they've sat down with each other and talked it out. They did have a fantastic match at that Survivor Series. They also had an incredible match, in my opinion, from 2018, maybe like match of the year at Evolution with the last one standing. They always have fantastic chemistry together.
They have amazing
against
chemistry.
Each other, and I think this is great. It makes, because Damage Control already looks so strong. And it's not to say that Team Bianca doesn't look strong. I mean, you have Bianca Belair, you have Charlotte, you have Becky Lynch now. Hopefully this does help Shotzi a little bit, because Shotzi kind of feels and it was cool to see Shotzi in the beginning of SmackDown, kind of try to take Damage Control down by herself. And that's the ballsy energy, that Shotzi brings to the SmackDown roster.
I love that they're trusting her in this position because they are putting Shotzi with some
heavy hitters,
heavy hitter women when it comes to pro wrestling. So the fact that they are trusting her in this role is pretty amazing, and I'm so happy for her. This can do nothing but help her star. I think she's going to be the one doing the most crazy stunts and everything like that. Obviously, in the match, which is probably why they have her in there, because she is ballsy. She's not afraid to go after it, and so I'm kind of excited to see. I would have said if someone did one of those things on Twitter, like put your dream Survivor Series team together, I would have never in my life put these four on a team together. I
No.
wouldn't have. But I'm excited for it.
Hmm.
Um, Becky is going against Xia Li on Monday. Do Damage Control show up and try and take it out? Who
Maybe.
knows?
Maybe that might
Who knows?
that might be the case, but Shotzi's gonna do some wild stuff
Oh
in this
yeah.
War Games. Listen, I've seen Shotzi before she was in NXT, before she was in WWE. I mean, yes, there was an involvement with WWE and Evolve, but for the Evolve 10th anniversary show, I saw Shotzi do a suicide dive onto a pile of chairs and land face first. Like, I
Oh,
know that some people are like, Shotzi's improved, and I
oh
see it in the
my
chat.
god.
Shotzi's always been that girl. She's
Yeah.
always been that girl. So she's really gonna have some fantastic moments at War Games if they let her cook. So is EO. EO
Oh
Sky is
yeah.
gonna have, I mean,
You have
everyone's gonna
Io, Asuka,
shine
and Kyrie in
very,
one fucking match together. Are you
yeah.
kidding me?
Like everyone's gonna
Bailey
do
is
such a
there.
good
So
job.
Bailey's the anchor in this, right? She's the
Hmm.
anchor for that team. Becky's the anchor for their team. You're gonna have Bianca flying. You're gonna have Charlotte flying. You're gonna have Bailey and Becky holding down the mat, and then you'll have Shotzi doing some crazy shit. You have Kyrie in the air. You have Io in the air, and you have Asuka just kicking the shit out of everybody and just striking. Like it's just the potential for this match is absolutely insane. And
I
I'm so excited for it.
Listen, hot take, maybe an unpopular opinion, and I believe I said this last week. I am much more excited for this War Games match than the men's War Games match.
Oh yeah. Look, here's the thing
Sorry
about the
about it.
men's war games match, guys, and this is not us hating on the men's match. It's not what it is. They have done this rendition of this men's match 80 times in the main
Hmm.
event of Raw and or SmackDown in different clusters. And I'm kind of over it. Like I'm over
Yeah.
Judgment Day. I'm over Judgment Day against I'm not over Judgment Day. That's the wrong thing to say.
It's the
I like
matchups.
Judgment Day for what they
It's
are. It's just they're going against the same people or groups
hmm.
constantly, and I'm like, okay, first it was KO and Sammy. Okay, they split up KO and Sammy, so now it's Sammy and Cody and Jay, and now it's Jay again.
It just, for
I'm
me, it
over it.
feels like the Judgment Day, being involved with the Bloodline, being involved with Cody, being involved with Jay, like
Jay
it's not to say that it's not going to be a good
and
match. And you
Sammy.
have the addition with Drew McIntyre joining Judgment
That is
Day.
what
Like
makes
that
it
is exciting.
interesting for me. Is
Yeah,
with Drew being heel now and kind of
exactly.
part of it, how that plays into everything. That does intrigue me. Um, but it's still kind of the same matchup, just with Drew added.
Yeah. And it just it kind of is the same matchup, like a little bit, whereas the women's War Games match just feels like they're doing something a little different. It feels a
Yeah,
little bit more fresh. And sure, the men have a lot of history together, but I don't think that like they've really established the history with with like I think that they established like history with women, but it's just like in this match in particular, like everyone has had an incredible match with each other against each other. I think everyone has had
except for
like
Shotzi, maybe. But you're right. Everybody
except
else
for
has
Shotzi, but this is a chance for Shotzi to like again just be a little bit more elevated.
shine.
But like with this women's War Games match, it just feels a little bit more fresh. You have Becky off of a great run in NXT. And now she's back on the main roster officially. And yes, she's gonna have a match with Xia Li, but it's gonna be cool to see her like back in that scene with Bianca, with Charlotte, with Damage Control as well. I mean,
Oh
Damage
yeah.
Control, there is that element of like, will they, won't they, when it comes to kicking Bailey out of Damage Control. You have Asuka
Yep.
joining in. You have Kyrie back officially. You know, you have EO in there as well, the champion, and then you have the team of Bianca. Like on paper, that just seems much more interesting to me than the men's War Games. And again, it's no diss to the men,
On paper
but
and on
it's
TV.
like,
What are we really
listen,
talking about?
listen, I care much more about the women's segments on every single show no matter the company, more than
Correct.
the men's a little bit. Sorry, not sorry, but that's just the
Sorry, not
type
sorry.
of like professional wrestling fan that
That's
I
the
am.
fan. Same.
Like that's obviously what I'm going to
I tell people
gravitate
all the
more.
time, the women are the reason why I even came back to wrestling in the first place in 2015. They are
Hmm.
the reason. The four horsewomen are the reason I came back to pro wrestling in 2015.
Hmm.
That's what started it. Then I kind of start watching others and Paige and AJ Lee, and I just started taking it all in. And I was like, oh shit, they're really wrestling now. Like they're out here doing things I had never seen them do when I was watching before. And so they
Hmm.
brought me back. They're also the reason why I stay. So it's just one of those things where I think people understand when we get upset about women not getting time or this or that or whatever it might be, we're not saying, oh, the women need to be in every segment and do everything. We just want them to get the same amount of attention the men do. We'd like them to get just as many segments as the men do. The baby steps are great. They've been consistent over the last month or two. There's been continuity, there's been stories, there's been layers, and I think that's all any women's wrestling fan has been asking for years.
Hmm. And
And
I
not
think
just
it's
on one,
like,
or just not just around the title either. It's been non-title
hmm,
as well.
yeah,
And I'm like, that's all we've been asking for. Not everyone
yeah.
can win the title. We know that.
And Becky's shown that as well with her feud with Trish Stratus. Like
Correct.
you don't need to be in the title scene to have fantastic, um,
Matches.
feuds, to have some fantastic matches. But I agree. I think in terms of saying like, oh, that's baby steps. Like, listen, when you had an all women's pay per view, when you've had the women main event in WrestleMania twice, when you had women just absolutely demolishing and killing it, like the baby steps are over. Just like full throttle, like go for it.
Because I mean, the woman went back to NXT and drew the biggest ratings they've had in years.
Mm-hmm.
That has to tell you that women, when women are given the chance and the story and stuff for people to sink their teeth into, they kill it every time.
Yeah.
Every time. So I'm just excited to see the layers that are going on, with damage control. You now have layers on the other team as well, because Becky and Charlotte obviously have their history. Becky answered the call. Apparently, go look at Becky's TikTok that she actually posts answering the call. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, I just like the layers that they are adding in the women's stories. It's not just them throwing them together and going, okay, go have your War Games match. Like you have to make it make sense. Most
Mm-hmm.
of your hardcore fans are educated in the history of the stories and the characters, so you have to make it make sense. And I think they're doing a great job with that. Overall, even for the men. So I'm just excited to finally see it for the women as well.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I think the ending of SmackDown tonight seemed very strong going into next week with Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And that's the way we ended the show. And now we just have to tune in next week for SmackDown on FS1. We're not
Yep.
getting paid to say that. We're just reminding you.
FS1, y'all.
Yes, and I
But
will
it
be
is
there
the go
live.
for SmackDown.
Yep.
So you really got to tune in to see kind of who's left standing tall right before Survivor Series. Alex will actually be in Chicago at that SmackDown live. So hopefully you can like send in some like live reaction videos, like from your cell
Maybe.
phone or
Possibly.
something. I would love it.
Yes.
I would love it.
I definitely will try to do that on Twitter, for sure.
Yes.
So if you want to follow us on Twitter and you're watching this, here are our little handles down here, and you can follow me at Queen of the Ring with two G's on Twitter. Where can the people follow you, Stephanie?
Follow me at Stephanie Hypes on Twitter, at Stephanie Hypes with two S's on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok at Stephanie Hypes with two S's as well. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We need to pick our chat champion of the night. I
Who
don't
shall it
know.
be?
There's been a lot of great. First of all, what a great chat. You guys are like awesome.
Popping off.
Popping off. You guys have great takes. You guys have been very active, which I really appreciate. I apologize if we didn't get to all your comments because there are a lot of them. I don't know. I'm thinking the chat champion of the week is the one who gave us the information about who's deciding the women's advantage in the War Games match, which is Eugene Evans. Thank you for being informative, and thank you for helping us out in the chat with giving us more information. And you've been very active tonight. We appreciate every single one of you, though. But tonight, the chat champion of the week is Eugene Evans. Congratulations. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Know Your Role.
Yep. Thank you
Know
guys
your
so much
role.
for joining us
Like
and
us,
knowing your
subscribe.
role.
We will see you
Indeed.
next week. I'll see you next week. I think Alex will be in Chi-Town enjoying some
I'll
pizza.
race to my hotel. I will run to my hotel. You know what? I will take the helicopter that Charlotte Flair took at WrestleMania 35.
There you go.
And I will land into
I'll send it. I'll make sure my girl really needs that copter, girl. She needs that copter. No CM Punk cannot use it.
Who is that? I don't even want to know. Anyway.
You didn't hear from me. Just kidding. Thank you for joining us tonight. I know you're all, y'all.
Guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
See you
Make sure to subscribe. Hit the little thumb up.
Subscribe.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you later.
Bye.